Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the second part on defining errors in design. This is the second week. And in this part, we're actually going to go do a breakdown on how things actually work. So here you see I have the stylized version, and we're going to go first to this one here. And what you have to understand about this is the version of this actual bear here that is actually strangling this coyote. And of course, this is pretty cartoony, pretty stylized, but it's actually pretty fun. Now, you'll see here basically this is a breakdown of the structure of the bear itself, and you'll see that the torso, it's larger, it's basically a humanoid, right? The torso is bigger than the legs, the hands are longer than the legs, of course, and you see that it's pretty close. Here's the knee, but it's actually a bit above the knee when it comes to proportion. So these are the things that you want to take into account. Now you'll see that in this other example, we have the same creature here based on the main proportion and features of that proportion itself. And here what we do is basically we take the creature and we try to do it from like a more top view and more from the back view and see like how these are being affected. And you see that I use these like color scheming so you guys can check clearly what's going on, what is the back side, what is like this other second part of the back, and that goes towards the front, and of course shoulders, and of course a bit of anatomy going on. All these things I'm taking them in account as I design the creature. So if I'm doing the creature design, I'm taking into account this component of anatomy and proportion because it's crucial and super important. It can be anything. In this example we have a bear, but again you'll see here, like even based on the colors here, we clearly understand like how these proportions are actually working. And again, you don't have to go do this necessarily, but you do need to understand like how proportion works to make things work. And of course, when it comes to shape language, we have like circle and triangle here as an accent, and that's kind of the thing that we are proposing. And you see here in this final, you'll see quite a bit of triangles here and there. On the nose there's a triangle, on the ear there's a triangle, there's triangles in the fur here in some spots, and so on and so forth. And that is what makes this character specifically work. Now, when it comes to like less exaggeration, more realism, we have this component here. So this is a proportion of a sort of like a humanoid kind of character. It's a bit exaggerated. It's actually a bit quirky and weird, and it's slouched forward. And of course, you'll see that there are certain proportions to the hands here that are interesting, and you see that there's like different types of lengths. You'll see the legs are pretty long and they're pretty elongated. You see the back is slouched and so on and so forth. And of course here the proportion and shape language, you'll see you have circle and like triangle as base and circle as an accent. And you see here basically like the fish itself, that you see like it's a pretty proportionate fish here that we take as, and then we exaggerate this and we combine these two together to get this type of result. So even if you don't see this part of the character, how it's slouching forward, it still exists there. So in my original drawing or design, I did put that to work in order for me to get to this type of result here. Now, again, this is super important to understand that proportions and having clarity on how you actually process this area plus this area and having this type of result, it is very, very important. Now, the last part here is basically the part where we have to have self-feedback or self-critique. And it is very important that you have this process actually done. Here are some areas you should check out whenever you're doing creature design. Number one, are my proportions clear? And does my anatomy for both areas, humanoid or animal, have clarity of information? Is the information clear enough for any type of user or anybody that sees this can understand off the bat, okay, these are the proportions, I can catch them easily, that is exactly in my face, and I can actually build upon that. So correct proportions, the correct like structure of things that you're actually building are giving clarity over the design itself that is understood at the first glance. Now, number two is the context and narrative that is being built in conjunction with my initial idea. Okay, I have an idea or I want to do something. Is it in at par with what I wanted to do previously? It is very important for you as an artist to actually put those things together, connect the dots, and make sure that the idea is being proposed forward in a correct manner. Are there any additional story elements that would massively improve my creature design? So for example, in my case here, I added some arrows that are hitting the fish because it's probably a fish that was a parasite, it was being hunted and consumed this guy, for example, and that is a storytelling element. saying that this was a dangerous creature that actually it's consuming this guy here, and it's becoming part of the body. And these are storytelling elements, like the blood on the hands are storytelling elements. All these things are becoming storytelling elements that are making that idea that was there initially to pop out and have a proper delivery. When it comes to the fourth point, is the workflow clear enough to build a consistent process? Meaning, if you're doing multiple creature designs and if you're doing multiple creatures in general, do you have a process that is established to get those ideas up to date or up to speed when it comes to delivery itself? And again, process and workflow are very important, are part of the entire sequencing with industry, and it's important for you to actually step up and have those things together in order for you to actually build a proper line of work. And the fifth point is, does the shape language work consistently throughout the build? And the shape language is very important, and it's not just shape, it's the overall form that you're trying to deliver, and of course like the design elements that you're actually consistently trying to put through to make sure that those are going to come together. Now, that being said, I'm hoping that you guys got some cool information about what happens with the second part on errors in design, and I'm hoping that you got some cool stuff, and we'll have a demo on this, and then we're gonna move to another theory video. Thank you very much, and I'll see you at the next part.